On the menu. Cynical Blues says suffering's back on the menu. My friend, it never left. Let's do this. It is season 2, so to speak, really the third season of this franchise mode. It is the re-sign phase, in which case we'll see kind of what the hell this roster is going to look like. Now, first and foremost, again, as always, if someone does not want an extension, they are instantly cut. The good thing is, we were not bringing back Kevin Lankinen anyway. We know our goaltending for next season is going to be Saros and Askarov. The question is, do we trade UC Saros this upcoming season? We might have to. So Kevin Lankinen is gone. Of course, the more goalies we cut, the more people get pissed. But it is what it is. Carson Barneson, by the way. I mean, man, if this guy goes backup goalie before the start of the season, then Saros most likely gets traded. Most likely. Broken thumbs Kevin needs a job. There. Mac, what's up? You know, for the moment, too, love me some Bussy, but Brandon Bussy's going to go. Troy Grosnick, Keith Kincaid. We'll leave our options open in terms of goaltending. Defensively, of course, we had to cut Dante Fabro, who was the dud of last season. Mobsky, what's up? Have to decide what to do with Alex Carrier. We're definitely going to keep Mark Del Gaizo, who keeps getting better. We're going to keep Lassie Thompson, who we acquired via trade. Adam Wilsby was the AHL Defender of the Year. Don't know what we're going to do about Zaboral. Again, we have a buyout penalty of $5.7 million. We're going to have a lot of dead cap every year because of that Forsberg buyout. Holy shit. Well, we actually have a lot of decisions to make. By the way, Zaboral doesn't want to come back. So yeah, he will be out. Stashny, Jordan Gross, and then a couple of younger options and a couple of older options for that matter. All right. We do have to get rid of some of the other people in here. I don't know what to do with Carrier. How much money does he want? Not much. Honestly, that's not too bad. First time to play Snow Slaves brought me here because he told me he's the guy that likes realistic gameplay. Well, there isn't such a thing as realistic gameplay with this game, but I strive for it. And Slaves is a good dude, so welcome in. Welcome in. Does it give a morale penalty if you don't cut them? That's a very good question. The thing is, the morale penalties are often so small, for lack of a better term. Like, they're so inconsequential. It doesn't necessarily matter. Which is why I'm not against it. And it helps kind of clear up the clutter a little bit. So right now, our right defensive side, if we were to keep Carrier, would be Carrier, Thompson, and Shen, unless Shen becomes a depth defenseman. Lozon can play the left or right. Livingston didn't get better. Prokop's not going to be NHL level. I don't know what to do about Carrier. I got to make that choice. We'll leave that down to the last minute. Jordan Gross, good AHL level guy, but no reason to keep him. Spencer Stashny, good AHL level guy, but I mean, he's 24 years old. He's not going to get that much better. We can just let him go. Paulie, what's up? We'll sign Graham Sword to his ELC. We will drop Roland McCown. We'll sign Kulanumi to his ELC. And Kevin Gravel's the man, but we are going to drop Kevin Gravel. Because we also have Gulyayev that we acquired via trade. So, just have to make a decision with Carrier. On the right, Phil Tomasino. We are going to try our best. We're going to try our best to have that reclamation project happen. How often do I think about the 2015 draft? At least once a month. Wayne Simmons, legend. He's got to go for now, though. Mike McCarron, Kiefer Sherwood can drop these guys for now. Till we know for sure what we're dealing with. Left wing side, Yakov Trenin wants to come back. Only wants $1.9 million. Had 18 points last year. Not 18, excuse me, 28. Not that bad. 28 points though, 1.9 million. I think we could save a little bit of money. For the work more than 600 hours on 22 and 23. Most of the gameplay on that. Sure, hit me up on Twitter. Yeah, Trennan's just very well-rounded. We'll cut Rocco Grimaldi. We'll cut Cole Smith. Honestly, even Yakov Trenin, I think we're going to drop him. Like I said, morale should bounce back. I need to leave my options open. So even Trenin can go for now until we know for sure who's out there. Centers, Kondolik and Afanasayev. We might as well bring these two back. Again, if they're RFAs, we bring them back no matter what. Jasper Weatherby was actually really good at the end of last season, so I'm going to bring him back. Not going to worry about Matt Wood. Fortunately, we ended up with some AHL potential guys. And of course, Macklin will probably end up being signed. Shout out to Gary Bettman's burner account for the follow, by the way. Yeah, Macklin being a depth forward, he'll probably go instantly to the NHL. So we are going to have a lot of money to spend. A lot. Only UFA we're worried about is Carrier. I mean, there's no real... We can find somebody else. I'm going to let go of Alex Carrier as well. We will have a good amount of roster turnover here. So in the RFAs, we are allowed to negotiate a bit here. Wouldn't have to worry about any... like no movement clauses and no trade clauses. That's for UFAs only. So I'm only allowed to move the year up or down by 1. Tomasino wants a good amount of money already. He's got 4 years left of RFA status. Again, he technically played 1 game this past season. He's an elite passer. He's very good defensively, too. We got to try to keep Tomasino. I would rather be in control of what we're about to sign him for to keep that status around. And Tantruv applies overpay for negotiating. So, well, because you did that, I have to offer him $1 million more than asking price. So instead of 2 years, I am now going to go for a 1-year deal at $3 million. So, I'm not quite getting the term that I wanted, but that will be the contract that I send out to one Philip Tomasino. And then the rest of these guys, yeah, really shouldn't be asking for that much money. I'll go ahead and offer Mark Del Gaizo that. Lassie Thompson. He does have RFA stat. You know, we'll go with the... He's going to be an NHLer for us. We'll offer him 1.2 for 2 years. Just to get him signed. Adam Willsby, again, last season's AHL Defender of the Year. That would be great if he'd sign a 3-year deal. Joachim Kondolik. We can go 3 years. He can be an AHLer for us for a good amount of time. Afanasayev. Go with that 2-year deal. And then Jasper Weatherby. Let's see what we got. Well, we're going to have to overpay Jasper Weatherby because Cody uses the overpay. Which means if I want to sign Jasper Weatherby, it's going to have to be a one-way deal. Which is fine by me, really. I mean, we got $40 million of cap space, so honestly, that's not that big of a deal. Especially right now with the shape of this team as it currently stands. So we will go probably 2 years, 1.8. I'll go 1 year, 1.8, because I'm allowed to drop it by a year. So yeah, 1 year, 1.8 for Jasper Weatherby. Due to the overpay. Cool. All right, let's see how this works out for us. I always forget I don't have to back out anymore. Weatherby signs, obviously. Tomasino's back. Lassie Thompson, Willsby, Afanasayev, Delgaizo, Condoleezza, Graham Sword, Kulanumi. Everybody signed, which is great. Which is great. Get in there, indeed. Chat's not being... that's your take. I think they're being geniuses. So we're good to go. We are off to free agency. Our locker room chemistry, by the way, is still a 65, which is great. If they decline, the overpay gets wasted. Yeah, essentially, yeah. I mean, because then it would be up to me. I mean, technically, you could say, like, well, then you got to try even more. But all right, so first things first, boring stuff. Let's go for coaches, scouts, and such. Again, we were going to have to fire Bentley. Right? Yeah, there was the Gretzky rule. It wasn't fire your coach. Bentley was named interim coach because we fired our coach. He was going to get Gretzky ruled, but there was no players who retired to become coaches. So we can make the decision to keep Bentley if we wanted. And then obviously if something else were to pop up, then so be it. AJ, what's up? And B Major. Mr. Major. What's going on, buddy? What's going on? Shannon McCullough. Shannon McCullough will offer you a little bit more. And Brennan Milroy. Yeah, not going to go for the crazy maxed out offers because I cannot waste any more time in my life doing that. Major, it's all good. I understand. All right, we got a lot of scouts. How's the new franchise? So far, it's fairly ridiculous, but I am enjoying it quite a bit. I don't know why I'm still having so much fun with NHL franchises in July, but here we are. Here we are. All right, so we're going to have to send out a lot of scouting offers here. If that last draft was any indication, we need to have as good a scouts as we possibly can. Unless we want to get a little bit more hands-on with scouting, which I don't. Only because it's just very, very time-consuming. And there is an argument as to whether or not the juice is worth the squeeze. I don't think it is, necessarily. Somehow, I think this game would be better if it had Madden-esque scouting. As opposed... And then again, well, in fairness, Madden actually just switched their scouting system in the past year and a half to be more like this. Which I was really disappointed. Because I thought Madden scouting, as simplistic as it was much, much better. At least more engaging than this. And for those who don't know, Madden's scouting previously was, you know, you scout out a player, you can find out the 3 best attributes about them. But it was really nice, you know, for quarterbacks. It's like, oh, arm strength isn't one of his top 3. He has a B in arm strength. He doesn't have 3 A's in terms of attribute. Like, I really did enjoy Madden scouting a lot. But okay, so we are good right now. Let's take a look at the free agents who are out there. Holy Devon Taves. So again, we are allowed 1 forward, 1 defenseman, and 1 goaltender. It can be a big name player or a prospect, not both. Let's look at goalies first and foremost. 2 elite goalies on the market. It's Marc-Andre Fleury and Connor Hellebuck. Helly's only looking for $7 million. It makes no sense for us to go after one of these guys, but it is worth taking a look because we still have to make a decision about UC Saros. And then sorting by potential. It's not going to work too much for us, but this is why we have an AHL scout. Colton Ellis is out there. Do some marketing. If I sort by OVR, again, we don't need a backup goalie. We can actually go by this. I need like a minor league starter. Hugo Alnefelt was not retained by Tampa. And so far, based on age and presumed potential, Akira Schmidt's out there. He's a minor league starter. Again, we couldn't give him a super high rating yet, despite what he did for the Devils. Matt Guzda's out there. Eustace Anuin. Okay, so if we were to go for a project goalie. Also, Eric Portillo's out there. I didn't even notice, but He's too good. If we were to go after Eric Portillo, we'd have to immediately trade UC Saros, which isn't ideal. Given the state of our goaltending situation, Hugo Alnefelt might be the guy. Damn. 925 last year in series. Okay. Yeah, you know, I think I'm going to make that official that I'm going to go after Hugo. 775, 2 years, two-way deal. Maybe he develops into an NHL backup. I'm going to lock that in for Hugo Alnefelt. I didn't look at RFAs. Maybe I should have. I mean, you signed Dustin Wolf for Madge Sogard. But then again, you have to immediately trade Saros, and I don't know what I want to do with UC Saros. I don't want to put myself in that situation now when it could be more beneficial to wait until like closer to the deadline. So, defensively, Devon Toews is the big name that's out there. Gostisbehere, Pesce, Forsling, Montour. Of course, Tyson Barrie. A lot of top 4 level defensemen. And then in that top 6 range, I wanted to see if there was anybody a little bit younger. Of course, Carrier is out there now. Keep UC around. I'm certainly tempted. Do we have a younger defender who's now a depth defenseman? Apparently, Jared McIsaac finally improved for Detroit. Again, I wish I could shortlist players from here. I mean, essentially, I can by writing it down, but Amora, what's going on? Ooh, Boston Bruins legend Alex Regula. Kalachnik was let go of. Interesting. All right, so there's a couple of UFA defenders who are a little bit younger that would fit this team very, very well. Interesting. And then again, at the top of it is the absurd contract to Devon Toews. There are certainly defensemen who would make us better. But man, like paying Shane Gostisbehere over $8 million is rough, man. That's a rough one. And Devon Toews apparently has shut down. Those points are because he was next to Cale Makar. He might be a great shutdown defenseman. There's not a single defender in this game who's worth $11.3 million unless they're putting up 90 points a season. 56 points a year for Gostisbehere as a lefty righty, which makes him very, very valuable. $8 million, though, is a little bit rough, but for 4 years, it's not the worst. Brett Pesce put up a good amount of points last year. Could he do the same thing not being on Carolina? A lot of teams are interested in him. Forsling. That he was, Sergachev. Forsling has a very freaking good offensive category. Forsling might be like the underrated option as compared to Gostisbehere. But again, we have $37 million. Yeah, I was going to say 36.9. Let's just round up. $37 million. What do we have for RFAs? Ryan Lindgren and Simon Lundmark. Those are got to be Manitoba numbers. There was Montour who didn't put up an insane amount of points, unfortunately. Obviously, he has the very, very good shot that he showcased in the playoffs against the Bruins. Tyson Barrie wasn't bad. OEL bounced back pretty well on Florida, unless he was in the AHL. That's a Schmegel-Witzberg. What's going on? Again, there are some good defenders to sign. Martinez put up points. I mean, there's no... Say OEL's name right. Oliver Lossum Tossum. Really quickly. Instead of maybe looking at like a Kalachnik. Our defense for next season, that we know, oh my God, is literally just Lassie Thompson and Roman Josi. That we know of. Bagel, it hasn't been too bad yet. Mason Lohrei might be on the left. Del Gaizo might be on the left too. So I'd say left defenseman, we're good. Left defenseman, we're probably pretty good. We can run Del Gaizo, Lohrei, and Yossi. We need 2 right side defensemen. Okay. 2 right side defensemen. Now that we know that's what we're doing. Not too worried about McIsaac or Kalachnik. Let me go back to these options really quickly. Again, we got to think more about these signings. Kalachnik runs both sides. Regula is a right side. So Jared McIsaac out. If we were to go for a younger guy, it would be Regula or Kalachnik. And probably Kalachnik because he can play both sides. Which makes the player very, very valuable to us as I punch my microphone. And then obviously, if we were to go for someone half decent, shout out to Jake. What's going on? It's been forever. I hope you've been good, buddy. Sorry, I'm a little bit focused. There are a lot of defenders that fit that bill for what we'd be looking for. Not Tanev, not Goligoski. Okay. I got a general idea of who we're going to go for, but I'm going to wait. Let's look at the forwards. First and foremost, the RFAs. I mean, McLeod, Holloway, Dominic Box, apparently an RFA. Liam Kirk's out there. Jameson Reese. I mean, not that Reese and Holloway or Reese and McLeod aren't that bad, but Dylan Holloway would be the gem there to try and take him away from Edmonton. Jake, I've been good, man. No complaints. And of course, Philip Forsberg's a free agent because we had to buy him out because chat's cruel. Stamkos is a free agent. Zuccarello, Gensel. I mean, there are a lot of good free agents out here. And again, even if they're looking for more money than we should probably sign them for, we can afford it right now. Yeah, see, Tommy Novak, we got rid of him at the right time, man. $4.5 million is what he's looking for right now. No shot. I know he had 37 points, but no shot. We do still have Alex Killorn, yes. We do indeed. Trennan wants that 1.8. Right now, I'm just looking for younger players. Just to see if there's a prospect that might be worth a look. I mean, you got like Blumel, Crookshank, Ferrier at 24. There are some decent players who are on the cusp of being NHLers, but there's nobody that's immediately like super tempting. So we'll probably, for our forward signing, be looking for one of the best players we can get. Stamkos wants a 1-year deal. Obviously, trying to get Stamkos and flip him would be nice. I mean, Zook is a veteran. Jake Gensel. I mean, Jake Gensel for like $9.5 million for 3 years wouldn't be that bad. How did Gensel do last year? And he was playing next to Crosby and Patrick Kane. And he only had 54 points. That's concerning. Lindholm, 28 and 29. That's not bad. Pacioretty had 42 goals as a cap. But he's 35. It would pretty much have to be a half-season rental and then try to flip him. Then you got like Wheeler, Bertuzzi, Marchessault, Pavelski. We know Henrique did pretty well last season. Good old Jake DeBrusk. I mean, DeBrusk might not be the worst signing in the world, given that he's a little bit younger in his dual position. He'd be in the same category as like Jack Roslovic. And Roslovic actually didn't do that bad in Columbus either. Where's the end of the second liners? There it is. Got Mantha. Brosk, Roslovic. Kasperi Kapanen is only 27 at this point. Are you sure? That seems fake. That seems fake. Again, we can't bring Forsberg back. I can't believe Gensel underperformed that badly and still wants that much money. And then Lindholm, 28 and 29. I mean, I'm thinking about this from the perspective of whoever we get, we're probably going to want to trade. I mean, we could be Gensel's rehab project because he wants a 2-year deal. Lindholm, we're not going to sign for that much. Pacioretty on the 1-year deal, and he literally hangs around long enough to then be moved at the deadline, basically. So let's try to rehab Jake Gensel, sign Max Pacioretty, and then flip him, or we go for someone like Jake DeBrusk. 24 and 33. Technically, Roslovic was a little bit better. Sign a bunch of older players. Fun fact, I can't. I'm only allowed to sign one guy. That's why I'm putting a lot of thought into it. I think it's going to be Pacioretty. The reason why I'm leaning towards Max Pacioretty for this signing is he and Phil Tomasino would likely be on the top line together. And if I can use Pacioretty to help recoup that lost morale of Phil Tomasino, it's worth it. So I do think Patches is the guy offensively. Defensively, I still haven't quite made that decision. I mean, it looks like we could go for Dylan Holloway, but I'm not really in a spot where I want to give up draft picks right now. So, Mr. Pacioretty, I can afford to overpay the hell out of you. And then I don't know if I'm technically allowed to retain salary, but Patches would be deadline bait, yeah. I'm going to go 1 year, 9.5. Actually, you know what, Patches? I mean, I can afford to overpay you. 1 year, 10 million. Flip you at the deadline. Let's see how you feel about that. Defensively, like I said, it comes down to a couple of different players. But we can afford to overspend. And I mean, the 56 points of Shane Gostisbehere is very tough for anybody to compete with. There's a lot of defenders there. The alternative, like I said, is someone like Kalashnikov, who is 23. But honestly, it's just a guy. All right. 3-year deal, 8.5. It's a bit much, but we can afford to do it right now. I'm going to take Shane Gostisbehere as well. So those are our 3 guys. In terms of the approach, Iggy just missed out on the low ball. You just missed it. My next contract will be a low ball. Or maybe it won't. Maybe I'll say you mistimed it. Maybe that's my equalizers if people mistime it. But Iggy missed out. Iggy missed out. So, yeah, we are going to be targeting 1 Shane Gostisbehere, in goal Hugo Alnefeldt, and for the forward Max Pacioretty. And that's all we can do to kick off free agency. Let's see what we got. And obviously we're going to have a crap load of new scouts. All the fun stuff. The delay is a bitch. That's part of the strategy. That's part of the strategy. You got to make up your mind. All right, so that A-coach Shannon McCullough elected to go to Arizona. And Milroy went to Calgary. Not great on the coaching department side of things, unfortunately. you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Ooh. Is this team playoff caliber? They could sneak in, but beyond that, probably not. All right. Are there any other coaches? Are there any other coaches that are half decent who will just accept a contract so I don't have to take 6 years? I mean, the fact is, I sat there for a long time talking about who I might sign. So, I mean, that could have been procced pretty early. So, it's not my fault. Hugo Alnefelt is here. Shane Gostisbehere is here. As is Max Pacioretty. So, we landed all 3 of our targets, which is nice. Unfortunately, the coaching staff... It's not going too well for us, given that we already have a goalie coach. All right, boys, please. I really don't want to sit here and do the crap load of money. Please. I mean, then again, you could argue if I have to do this repeatedly, it's probably just worth doing the max offer, so I don't have to do this repeatedly. There is an argument. But we'll see. See, I'm not allowed to sign any of the free agents until the preseason. All right, Marco Strong accepted. The other guy accepted too. Beautiful. Sweet. We move. We march. We move and we march. And we'll see if it takes an hour and a half to get this team set up for season 2, technically season 3, like last night did. Because my God. My God. All right. Captains. I believe it's the one time I can do it without morale being a problem. Roman Josi is still our captain. No doubt about that. We're going to give a letter to Colton Sissons just because he's been here forever. And Luke Schenn. We'll see if I'm right about being able to do that without morale affecting it. Looks like I am. Okay, so really quickly, unsigned players. As Sam Besser utilizes an F off, so someone will be suspended. Once the roster is set, we'll find out who that'll be. It's fine by me. I mean, I can't really be that devastating. I haven't even set up the roster yet. So Emil Vinny won't be signed. All these guys are still others. O'Neill's still another forward. I think it's only going to be... Now, we have a lot of centers. Yeah, the only guy who's close to NHL ready is Macklin. So we are going to offer Macklin his ELC. Sign him up. And let's take a look at ye old roster moves. And see what we're dealing with. Okay, so that is very, very good news. We can run Saros and Askarov for the season with Barneson and Alnefelts. We do technically need two depth goalies to round it out, but our goaltending is set. So that's nice. Defensively, Luke Schenn actually dropped a minor league top 2. All right. And then AHL-wise, once we send down defenders, we'll be fine. So our defensive depth, Crash Andrews, I love you. We'll talk tomorrow. So Josi, Del Gaizo, and Lore for the lefty side. We'll have Ghost on the right. Lassie Thompson's up to top 4, which is awesome. So Josi, Ghost, Del Gaizo, Thompson. Lore's already in. So then for the right side, it's either Schenn. I do feel bad that Adam Wilsby isn't going to make it. Because again, AHL Defender of the Year last season, like he was in the running for stud of the season as well. But yeah, I think what we'll do is have Shen as that third pair right D. Willsby and Olesen can be sent down, and we'll have Jeremy Lozon as our healthy scratch. Yeah, I wouldn't hate moving on from Delgaizo or Lore, but given I can park Willsby in the AHL for one more season, we'll kind of see what happens. But the AHL defense is looking pretty solid. Pretty solid indeed.
I'm just trying to
technically. Shout out to Victimize for the follow. What's going on? Welcome to this madness. Let's see. Look for a third pair right D. It's my opinion on ska. It's fine. Some of it's fine. Some of it's bad. Just like every other bit of music. All right. Ooh, Cody Glass dropped down to minor league score. Macklin is a depth forward. Might make the team. So Pacioretty's there as a second liner. All right. Really quickly then. For the forwards. Let's just say... Gotta get a look at this. So Killorn is in the top 6. Tomasino probably on the right. Or not. Mills dropping the 100,000 channel points for Add an X Factor. Interesting. We got a lot of things to catch up on, so this will be interesting. Gravy Clown, exclamation point rules in chat. You tweeted you want chat to be... No, I presume chat will be as toxic as possible. That's the presumption. All right. So Tomasino can technically be there. Evangelista. With Tomasino slotted on that first line spot with Pacioretty. So Evangelista's probably on the third line. We have good old LaRue slotted on the fourth line. Sissons. I'm just trying to see, because we don't quite know who's going to be available forward-wise. All right, let's go take a look at the free agent list. I'm allowed to sign any forward, any player in general that I want now. Ryan Lindgren is still out there as an RFA, but Lord knows we don't have space for him. At least without making a trade. Okay, so there aren't too many great options left. There is Brandon Duhaime as an enforcer, which I don't hate. There are definitely going to be players that we can use to fill out this team, which is good. We'll have to do a little bit of research, but there are players that we can go for. Okay. So then, back to the state of the forwards. I mean, Cody Glass is making $2.5 million. You know, there's the argument as to whether or not he needs to be on this team, especially given that he has to play center. Oscar Olesen can play on this team. On the right, Kondoleek. Reed Schaefer's due for another season in the AHL. There's a Fanasayev. I think Macklin probably deserves a chance to be on this team. So if we run Macklin, Kondoleek at center, Olesen on the right, 2 left wing spots and a center spot, unless we have people play in a secondary position. Okay. So then. Can someone do an exclamation point Discord in chat, please? It's like Brandon Duhaime could be brought in. There would be space for him. Carl Grundstrom. Ryan Lomberg, Nick Foligno. I mean, it is mostly physical options. Honestly, where's the harm in just playing some of our other younger guys at this stage? Unless I want to shelter them from the full season suspension, which I might. We are going to sign both Brandon Duhaime, actually, really quickly. How much cap space do we have? We are right on the line. Whew. We are right on the line. Mr. Duhaime, I'm willing to pay you a little bit here, bud. $1.5 million for the year. Nick Foligno. Why not? Chicago paid you a shitload of money last year. I'll pay you a little bit as well. And Carl Grundstrom. Pay these three guys identical contracts. And then defensively, there is not an improvement for a right D in terms of improving Luke Shen. That just doesn't exist right now. That just does not exist. Even like some of the 27-year-old players, like they're not going to really get any better. There's like Matt Kessel, who's 24, but I think we're probably pretty well set up. Then we do need two AHL level goalies. There's Jack Reeves out there, at 23, and then at 24. Looking at ages, Matt Guzda's out there. Archer Siloff's the legend. Was a medium backup though. So I need 2 goalies for the year. We're going to go for Jack Reeves, and again, look to pay him just a little bit. And we are also going to go for Akira Schmidt. Why not? And with those final few moves, I should be... Definitely where I want to be. 9-game trial warranted. God, well, we're going to have to do the first coin flip here. I'd love to answer this the way I want to answer it, but we'll do flip a coin. Actually, in fairness, it needs to be pick a number between 1 and 3. And that number is number 3. So apparently I'm going to send Macklin down, even though I'm not actually going to send him down. I re-rolled. It's now 2, so I'm just going to keep trying to piss this coach off, who might not even be my coach for too much longer. All right, but Akira signs. There's Foligno, Grundstrom and Duhaime, Jack Reeves. Good. Whew. All right. So we'll have Akira as the NHL backup. NHL backup, excuse me. 3rd string option. Again, defensively, that's fine. So Grundstrom, Duhaime, and Foligno need to get the call up. That means we will send down Schaefer, Knack, and Afanasayev. So that is 10, 11, 12, 13. With Foligno, so Cody Glass is the main one to stay, to be a 4th liner. I don't hate that. We do need to sign a couple of dudes to help fill out the AHL roster, but... And of course, the NHL roster is about to be different too. We have a full season suspension still to come. Yeah. This will be... kind of interesting to see just where we are going to be. I need some more dual position players just to fill out the AHL. So let's go for Jordan Martinook. And again, just got to pay these guys a little bit of money. Jordan Martinook. Linus Weissbach, why not? Pay him a little bit of money. And his former Buffalo teammate in Zemgus Girgensons. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Well, I'm just going to enjoy the fact that I've kind of been able to put this team together before we blow it up to fucking smithereens, I'm sure.